video today on, I thought I would tape a quick video today on converting radians to degrees and degrees to radians. Today in class we discussed what a radian was, and we talked about a radian is a unit of measurement for an angle. Unit of measurement for an angle. And we went on to talk about, in the past, our unit of measurement has been degree. So now we're going to adding another unit of measurement to angles, and it is radian. And we talked a lot today about the whole circle is 360 degrees, and everybody could tell me that. And so just like everybody can tell me that a whole circle is 360 degrees, you need to now be able to tell me that a whole circle in radians is 2 pi. And so when we figure this out, we can divide both sides by 2, and we can see that 180 degrees is equal to pi. So this is going to end up being our conversion. And conversions, you can think of what you've done in science last year or this year also. And you can take this conversion and put it into fraction form, and you know it's going to be equal to 1. So pi over 180 degrees, or 180 degrees over pi, either way you look at it, it's equal to 1. So if I multiply any number by this fraction, it's still going to be the same value. So with saying that, we went through a couple of examples, and it's really hard to talk about it without using an example. So we kind of had to pick which one we needed to multiply, whatever we were given by. So in the case of degrees, if I ask you to convert 60 degrees to a radian measure, which we talked about, it's in terms of pi, then what we would do here is I have 60 degrees, and I would multiply it by a fraction, by whichever fraction that would equal pi or radians, and that would also get rid of my unit, which is degrees, and leave our radians unit. So we talked about it could either be multiplied by a fraction, or we could use our t-chart that we use in science. And so in this case, I'm going to put degrees in my denominator and pi in my numerator. And so 180 goes with degrees and pi in the numerator. And then you will see it would be 60 pi over 180, which simplifies to pi over 3. So if I was talking about the same 60-degree angle in radians, I would say the angle of pi over 3 radians. Okay, so let's do another one. Let's convert, let's do one that's kind of difficult to see, maybe 80 degrees to a radian measure. Or 2 radians, let's just say radians. So I have 80 degrees, and I'm going to multiply it again by pi over 180, and I'm going to multiply straight across. I'm going to do it this way so you can kind of see. And in this case, 80 and 180 are a little bit difficult to see. Now, I know that they both can be divisible by 10, and we can use our ladder method or upside down birthday cake to figure out what our simplified fraction is, because radians will always be given in fraction form with pi in the numerator. So we said that 10 could go into both of these, and so our next bet is 2. And that would be 4 and 9, and what we're left with is a simplified fraction, 4/9, so it becomes 4 pi over 9. Now, just like we can convert degrees to radians, we can also convert radians to degrees. So in this case, we're going to say convert 4 pi over 5 radians to degrees. And so I put 4 pi over 5, and I have to figure out, am I going to multiply this by pi over 180 or 180 over pi? And because I want degrees to be my unit that's left, I'm going to multiply it by 180 over pi. And in this case, I can simplify, or I can divide out. You can do it either way. I can see that pi divided by pi, that eliminates my pi. And then I can see, okay, well, 5 goes into 5 one time, and 5 goes into 180, I think this would be 36 times. So then I'm left with 4 times 36, which would be 24, 12, 144 degrees. Okay, so this converts 4 pi over 5 to degrees. So the pi over 5 is equal to 144 degrees. Now our next step is we'll just work with another one. Let's do 3 pi over 2 degrees. So again, I have 3 pi over 2, and if I use my t-chart, the 3 pi would go in the numerator, the 2 in the denominator, and then 180 degrees divided by pi. So again, those cross out. Again, I can cross simplify, and so my answer is 90 times 3, which is 270 degrees. So I think it's, if you think of it in terms of unit conversion and what you're doing in science, you can kind of make sense of it. The one thing that you have to remember is that 180 degrees is equal to pi. And if you use that conversion, then you'll be just fine.